If you're just starting out as a coach, you might ask yourself, how do I run a possession game, or what's the size of the field that I should use? You're gonna start to understand, right? You're gonna start to develop your awareness of the right shape of the field over time, right? So I don't think there's a definitive size and shape. I think you want to, you have a limited amount of time to practice. So whenever you have natural lines, for example, your 18-yard line, that makes a natural line. You have your natural sidelines, and you have the natural halfway line. So you could use just a simple cone line to kind of grid off. If you already have three of the four of the lines, if you're being conscious, aware of the timing of practice, every little bit counts. So using some of these natural lines can help you set up your grid to where your possession game is. You also want to make sure that players, right, by making the possession area tighter in general, this encourages players to make rapid decisions. It also encourages them to maximize the space of the field, because if you make it tighter, they're not going to have that much room to operate. So when they're spreading out and trying to keep possession away from the other team, the team that has possession, they're going to use the full area of the field. And so I think the only thing that you want to be mindful of is you don't want to make it too small. If players struggle to chain together 1 to 2 to 3 passes, that might be a sign, right? If it's 2 passes and a turnover, then you might want to make your area a little bit bigger. Something else to keep in mind: if you're just getting started as a youth soccer coach, you don't really want to worry that much about touch count, right? There are some coaches who limit the touch count to they make the touch count, right? They'll say, oh, you can only have two touches playing this possession game, when players haven't gotten into the rhythm of connecting passes yet. So even before players get into a rhythm, right, they're already limiting to touch count. So I think a good rule of thumb is let players get into a tempo and get going into the possession game before you limit the touch count. So for example, let's say you start a possession game, 2-team possession, right? You've got equal numbers. You could let the players go unlimited touch, and maybe about after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes, you could say, okay, now let's do 2 touch. There's a 2-touch possession game, 1 on the takeover. So two with 1 on the takeover means players have 2 touch, and when they take the ball from another team, they get extra touch.